These are all the notebooks I own that I am too afraid to use. If you clicked on this video, you probably have a stack like this that is freaking you out too. Maybe you've spent a lot of money on your notebooks, maybe they have beautiful covers, or the branding promised a level of genius that you feel like you just can't live up to. But a notebook is a thinking tool, not an art object. You're so worried about ruining it that you're missing the entire point of having it in the first place. Every day you don't use it, you're choosing the product over your own thoughts and ideas. I obviously know the feeling, but after a lifetime of using notebooks, I've learned exactly how to break this spell. In this video, we're gonna get down and dirty with our expensive and pristine notebooks, and you'll learn why this is actually the best thing you can do for your creativity and thinking. Let's start with an activity. Pull out a notebook that you have used all the way through, part of the way through, whatever. Now pull out a notebook you have not used. One of those pristine notebooks that you spent money on, or simply one whose picture perfect quality you know will get scuffed up the second you throw it in a bag. Now, let's look at the differences. This is a brand new Leuchtturm 1917 notebook. It's pretty, it's clean, it's never seen a day of hardship in its life, and it is empty. Let me take it out of the packaging really fast so that I can prove to you that it is empty. It's literally completely virgin, completely new, and totally blank. Now, this bad boy is a Leuchtturm that I used the crap out of in 2019 and 2020. I was sticking things in, I was washi taping off certain pages, I was creating mood boards. I even had a whole sticky note graveyard in the back, and if you open this pocket, there is a bunch of different evidence that I did stuff and that I lived in 2019 or 2020. It's just very fluffy, very well loved, very well used. If we look at them side by side, you can see that the well-loved version is significantly thicker, significantly fluffier. The pages are also stained a little bit. These look really pristine and really white, whereas this looks just kind of like that nice yellowy brownish color that happens when you're throwing your notebook in a bag or touching it all the time. And of course, there's stuff sticking out of it. There's documentation on the cover and on the spine about how I used it. It's just a very well-loved notebook. It's not just notebooks that I use like this, I also use planners like this. So this is a brand new Hobonichi Cousin from this year. It's completely unused. It's a planner that I basically just use for demonstrating different types of layouts on this channel. So it stays pretty pristine and it doesn't really have a lot going on. But compare this to this planner, which is a Hobonichi Cousin that I used the crap out of in 2021. Again, very fluffy, sticking things in, taping things in. Is there a sticky note graveyard? Oh my God, there's a sticky note graveyard in the back. Extremely, extremely well loved and well used, and dirty as crap as well. Quick fluff check. Yeah, pretty fluffy. So now, before we watch the rest of the video and take this exercise a step further, I want you to go down into the comments and let me know what your two notebooks look like. Is your used notebook fluffy? Does it have sticky notes coming out? Did you tape off pages? Did you stick stuff in? Are there any stickers on the inside or on the outside? And then tell me what your brand new pristine notebook looks like. Is it the same brand? Is it something you're afraid of using? What does the cover feel like? Are the pages totally empty, or do you have one or two of them filled up with something that you don't like anymore? Let me know down in the comments. I'll give you a second to pause the video, and we're back. So here's the activity that I want you to do with your new notebook. Put my old notebook off to the side so I can focus on ruining this. The first activity is that you're gonna grab your new notebook or your new planner or whatever notebook is freaking you out to start using, and we are going to flip to a random page and just make a mark. Anywhere in the notebook, anywhere on the page, any kind of mark. It could be a tiny little mark up here. It could be a big mark on the page. It could be ugly. It could be pretty. Okay, well, that's not really pretty, but you get the idea. The marks that you make here are going to serve the purpose of breaking the tension for using your new notebook. This is a brand new notebook, and now whatever I end up using this notebook for, this page will always be screwed up. I cannot possibly make something uglier or weirder in this notebook than I just made on this page right now. And if I do want to make something uglier or weirder, I get to have the comfort knowing that I am doing so intentionally because this is a notebook that I actually want to use. It is not a precious museum piece that I intend to keep on my shelf forever in its pristine, unused quality. It is a notebook that I am pledging to love and pledging to be weird in. So, by making this first mark or this first mistake, you are officially confronting your notebook perfectionism. Welcome to the club. Let's talk about the implied rules that all notebooks have. Your notebook or your planner, if it is a planner, came with some implied rules, implied ways that you are supposed to use them. You're supposed to start from the front, use the pages in order, write the date where it says date, use the index when it says index, follow the grid lines instead of writing outside of them, use the timeline when there's a timeline, use the checkboxes when there are checkboxes, use the week from 5 a.m. to 4 a.m. in exact timely order. Notebooks and planners typically come with intended use cases like this. But when you approach a new notebook or planner, I find that the best way to get into it is to just start anywhere. This little guy is one of my most well-loved notebooks. It is a pocket notebook. I carried it around with me everywhere when I was using it. I used it partially as a wallet, partially as an everyday carry, partially as a capture system. And the one thing I did is that I started from the back. So I stuck a bunch of stickers in the back here, and then I just started going from the back. I made a grid, I started planning, I started writing, I started drawing, and I started from the back because for some reason, starting from the front was just so intimidating to me. I actually have this a lot, where starting from the front of a notebook is really scary. I almost always leave a couple of pages like blank. Like if I were starting this notebook, I would probably leave like 2 pages blank or 3 pages blank and then get into the notebook because starting from the very first page just feels like a huge commitment. But you don't have to start from the first page of your notebook. You can do like me and start from the back and just start writing or drawing things like starting from the back of your book. And then eventually you will claw your way back to using other parts of the notebook as well. Once I had a good feel for this notebook and I was starting from the back, I got tired of doing it linearly and I just started opening to random pages. Like for example, this is a stamp I got at the Hobonichi 2025 release in at a store called High Tide in LA, and I just stuck the stamp on a random page. It doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the book. I also got this sticker from something. I mean, it's a PBR sticker, but I stuck it in the middle of the page because I was like, I kind of want this in my book. Doesn't fit on one part of the page. Let's stick it in the middle part of the page. Just have fun. But there's no other context on these 2 pages. It's just the thing because I truly just opened to a random page and stuck the thing. I've also ripped pages out or parts of pages out, stuck in movie tickets, tried to budget, stuck in mementos from trips, schedule planned, more movie tickets. Even when I was journaling about something, I journaled upside down. I just didn't like the idea of journaling right side up. I wanted to journal upside down. So use your notebook literally however you want, backwards, forwards, upside down, sideways, whatever. Another way to truly ruin your notebook strap is to use it like I do, which is strap it around the notebook diagonally. It messes up the spine. Your notebooks will start to skew like this, but it makes for an excellent pen holder. Boom. Now you can hold your pen. Function over form, that's what I say. In my planners, I'm also famous for misusing the monthly spreads. In this particular planner, I had no use for this spread, so I just started taping stuff in, memory keeping here. I wrote a little blurb on the side of the page just about what my month was like. In the back, a lot of my daily pages don't have anything to do with the day at all. It's just a lot of notes and a lot of brainstorming. This is a particular page where I just completely ignored the layout and I just brainstormed the second half of a book that I'm writing. Another monthly that I abused was this 2023 Hobonichi weeks. I split the weeks up. I overwrote the weekends so that I could put some priorities there. I used this is actually my distraction method, which is a whole different thing. I will leave a link up in the card so you can check it out. But the point is, you don't have to listen to anybody when it comes to the layouts of your planner. I also use the weeks in the cousin for something called a drop and find system. I will leave another link up in the card so you can see that. but it definitely doesn't use the timelines here at all. Once you own a product like a planner or like a notebook, if that planner or notebook has specified ways that the creator wanted you to use it, those are not relevant anymore. They are not relevant to you. You own this book, you get to decide how you use it. So my next activity for you in that pristine notebook that you got out at the beginning of this video, I want you to open to a page and look at it and ask yourself, what is this page trying to get me to do? This page is trying to get me to write the date up here. This page is also trying to get me to write within the lines. It has a border up here and a border down here. All the content, it's telling me, should go in this gridded off section. It's telling me that this is about the line height that I should use for things. So if I'm going into this book, I need to have a conscious effort to break that pattern. Once you have noticed how your notebook is trying to get you to use it, then you can actually ask yourself, what do I want to do with it instead? And in that, you can achieve freedom.
I want to hop in here and talk about something that I've been absolutely, truly, genuinely loving lately, my Plank mattress. If you're like me and can never find a mattress firm enough, Plank is your answer. Endorsed by the American Chiropractic Association, Plank offers ultra-firm, flippable mattresses designed to promote a neutral spine position, improving back health and posture. When I was searching for a new mattress, I wanted something that was going to help me stop waking up feeling stiff and tired and actually help me sleep better. But I've had my Plank mattress now for about a month and I am already so in love. What I like most about sleeping on a firm mattress is how supportive it is and how it keeps my spine aligned. I used to wake up with annoying lower backache, but with Plank, that's completely gone. You literally don't sink into this mattress at all. It's like the perfect balance of support without being uncomfortable. And here's the coolest part, it's actually flippable. So one side is firm, and if you flip it over, you get an ultra firm experience. The ultra firm side ranges between the 9.5 to the 10.5 on the firmness scale, meaning it's the firmest, flattest sleep service on the market. Plank mattresses are designed, assembled, and shipped from their Arizona factory. This means they're able to use premium materials at a reasonable price with no middleman bringing up the cost. Plus, it comes rolled up in a box and is super easy to set up yourself. With your Plank mattress, you get a 120-night sleep trial along with a limited lifetime warranty and free shipping to your door if you live in the US. So, if you're looking for an ultra-firm bed, check out plankmattress.com. You can click on the links below or scan the QR code on screen for 30% off your order. Thanks again to Plank for sponsoring and for my improved back health. Now let's get back to the video.
The next activity is going to be geared towards those of you who feel like you have messed up good notebooks in the past. So maybe the notebook you brought out at the top of this video for the activity was a completely unused notebook, or maybe it was a notebook that you have written a couple of pages in and that you really don't like. This is an example of one of those notebooks for me. It is a beautiful Paper Test Designs notebook. It has this gilded edge. The cover is like rose petal soft. Has gold foiling, the paper is Tomo River paper, very high quality, very smooth, takes a fountain pen like a dream, and this cost me a pretty penny to purchase and then ship to my house. So I treated this notebook like it was going to save my life. And when I bought it, something kicked in for me that happens whenever we buy products, which is a cognitive bias called the endowment effect. This effect describes how we value things more highly when we own them versus when we don't own them. If you've ever tried to resell something at a garage sale or to a consignment store and you ask for $50 for it, but the buyer wants like only to pay like $20, it's not because the buyer is crazy, it's because you value your object more than a potential buyer or a new person values it, because it's not theirs. That kicks off our loss aversion, which means we don't want to ruin things, we don't want to mess it up. We perceive our stuff as highly valuable, so losing it or ruining it feels disproportionately terrible because your brain is already screaming about the loss and saying, what I own is too valuable to ruin. Don't even use it if you think there's a threat to ruining it. I'll also say social media does nothing to help this. So people on social with pristine notebooks and beautiful spreads can often just create unrealistic standards for the rest of us. I don't fault them for posting, increasing their brand, sharing the cool stuff that they do online. But when we are watching it, we have to be careful of falling into this trap of perfectionism, this endowment effect that tells us what we own is so valuable, we cannot mess it up. We have to put into it the same perfect spreads that all of the other people online are putting into their planners and notebooks Otherwise, we have ruined it. And we don't want to do that, do we? So for this next activity, get yourself a book that you have partially used. Maybe you've only used a couple of pages, or maybe you used it until you created a really ugly spread and you hate that spread. And together, we are going to rip out a page. I first started using this notebook as a book notes journal when I quickly realized that I hated taking book notes in a notebook that was soft cover. It just doesn't work for me, and I hated it. And for a long time, I did not use this anymore. So now I have a couple of pages in the front that I freaking hate, and I want to get rid of them. But I don't need these pages. I can use my notebooks however I want to use them, and I will. So let's take a page and let's just start ripping. Nice. Now that's out of the way. I also want to take this one out. Boom. Done. Now I can use this notebook however I want. I think I'm going to use it as a journal. Like just a really messy morning pages type of journal. If you did this activity, go down into the comments right now. Tell me what pages you ripped out and how you are planning to use the notebook instead. I'm about to get into the other ways that you can liberate yourself from notebook perfectionism, but before we do that, I want to announce something special. Many of you post questions in the comments or DM me on Instagram for one-on-one advice. So for the first time ever, I'm going to be opening up my calendar for one-on-one paper productivity strategy sessions. They're completely free of charge, and in this session, we will design a personalized system on paper to help you solve your single biggest productivity challenge. I can only do this for about 15 people, so if you're serious about productivity on paper, click the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen to join the waitlist. You'll fill out a short survey about your biggest productivity challenge, and then you'll be on the waitlist. Since there are only 15 spots, please make sure you join that waitlist. That's the only place I will be sending the information to later this week, so make sure you're signed up. Okay, back to destroying your notebooks. Now let's talk about some other physical liberation techniques that you can use to liberate yourself from notebook perfectionism and actually start using the stuff you bought. First, chop down your notebooks. This is a Hobonichi notebook. It was in the A5 size, and when I bought it, it was this big. So it had this full, complete, and beautiful design on the cover, which was like 2 inches or 1.5 inches larger than the notebook currently is right now. This is an A5 Hobonichi planner. It was about this big. What I was noticing is I had this lying around and I was never using it. I bought it like 1.5 years ago. I liked the cover. I love the notebook design. Like I love Hobonichi products and Hobonichi notebooks, but I just wasn't using it. But I knew I didn't want to get rid of it because I love this product and this brand so much, and I spent a good amount of money getting it to my home. So I broke myself out of that trap. I took it to Staples and I chopped it down. I just said, I want it at these dimensions, and can you please snippy. Now I have a notebook in a size that I will actually use, which is this slightly thinner traveler's notebook size book. And I've already started using it. I'm having a great freaking time. If I hadn't done this, if I hadn't just snipped it down, I promise you this would still be sitting on my shelf. Speaking of traveler's notebook sized, I have this book housed in a traveler's notebook cover that I recently bought. This is the limited edition Love and Trip version of a traveler's notebook cover. I think it came out last year, and I very recently got into traveler's notebooks. So I've been buying an upsetting amount of Traveler's Company products. A pretty reasonably priced version of this limited edition, red notebook came across my feed, and I was like, oh my God, I have to have it. I was definitely in that mindset of like needing to buy the limited edition, very pristine, very beautiful product. So I bought it. The seller was nice enough to engrave my channel name on it, and I set it up so beautifully. I bought a little bit of charms. I used a band that I really like the color of with this red notebook. I got some hardware that I installed into the planner so that it would protect it. And guess what happened? I have not been using it. The reason I've not been using it is because I don't want to mess it up. I think this is such a beautiful cover, and it already has some scratches on it that are giving me so much anxiety. Just tossing it into my bag when I spent so much money on it and worked so hard to set it up to look beautiful feels really wrong to me. It feels really, really scary because I know it's gonna get scuffed up pretty bad. So the next physical liberation technique that we're gonna do is we are going to intentionally scratch our covers. If you have a hardback notebook like this Leuchtturm we were using earlier, try intentionally putting a sticker on the cover. something you can't easily remove. The reason we're doing this is because covers are not going to stay nice in your bags forever. They are for protecting your actual notebooks inside the cover. They are not for being protected themselves. So even though I spent a lot of money on this and I'm scared of scratching it up, I'm gonna scratch it up. Whew, okay. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's scratched. Well, now it's scratched. And do I kind of hate it? Yes. But you know what? I kind of also love it. It felt sacrilege, but as I'm looking at it, I kind of love it. Okay. So that's scratching up one's planner cover, one's, $100 planner cover. And now I don't care. Now I can just freely throw this in my bag. Another piece of advice I have is to just crack your notebook spine. Most of the planners that I buy and notebooks that I buy will lay flat anyway, but some of them just won't. But I want my planners to lay flat, so I'm just gonna crack it right open and break it in a couple of different places. With a very well-constructed notebook, this will not do much damage to the spine. With a poorly constructed notebook, you might do a little bit of damage. But for my purposes, I would prefer my planner lies flat than have it bouncing up all the time because the spine, I want to keep it pristine and unbroken. So crack the spine, just destroy it. It'll be worth it when your book lies flat, I promise. The last tip I have for you is to make peace with your messy as crap handwriting. So believe it or not, my messy handwriting was something that caused me to not use my notebooks for a long time, especially when I started buying higher quality notebooks like Hobonichi products. I just felt like my handwriting was ugly as crap. So I would spend a weirdly long time making sure my layouts looked pretty enough that I could justify having this planner even when I didn't really like my handwriting. And this was just hard to maintain for me. This right here in my hands is another Paper Test Designs notebook. It has gilded edges, very soft cover, beautiful paper. It's the exact type of notebook that me a few years ago would be terrified of using because my handwriting kept me from using the nicer products that I would buy. So when I set out to use this notebook, I told myself that I was allowed to do whatever I want. I had to use a basic pen, so anything, any color that was like a ballpoint pen or a basic gel pen. I couldn't use a bunch of stickers or a bunch of washi tape to make this look, Instagram nice or whatever. I had to just use my ratty handwriting. And you can see some pages are neater than others. I've definitely practiced my handwriting a lot, but lots of pages are not so neat. Lots of pages, my mind is going way too fast for me to pretend like I care about whether or not my I's are dotted and my T's are crossed. And when I write in my notebooks in this sort of slapdash way, I get so much out of them. So much out of them. So this is a page where I was outlining a story that I was writing, and I'm writing in all different directions, in different colors to generate different ideas or mark different ideas, and I'm writing a lot. I'm writing a ton about this particular story. I am getting a lot done with it. And the only reason I'm able to do that is because I don't care about what my handwriting looks like anymore. I don't care if it's nice. I don't care if it's neat. I don't care if I accidentally put an extra M into a word or an extra I into a word where it doesn't belong. I love this book because it looks like crap. Let me tell you, paper is cheap, but your time spent overthinking whether or not your handwriting is neat enough is expensive. You're gonna buy a ton of notebooks, not use them, and feel really bad whenever you put pen to paper. But if you can liberate yourself and make peace with your messy handwriting and see it as something unique and special that you have to offer, I promise you, you will never look at a notebook and feel fear again. Here's the deeper philosophy shift we need to make. Your thoughts are infinitely more valuable than the notebook you put them in. Your notebook is not an art object. It's not going in a museum. It is a thinking tool, and thinking is inherently messy. The most productive people I know have the most destroyed notebooks because they're actually using them as the thinking tools they are meant to be. If you have emerged from this video with that beautiful notebook still intact, I encourage you to go back and mess it up a little, because the goal isn't to have a collection of beautiful notebooks. The goal is to have a collection of thoughts, plans, stories, memories, everything that demonstrates a life well lived. And trust me, when you look back on these notebooks, your future self will thank you for choosing thoughts over objects. Let me know in the comments what notebook you finally liberated today and how it felt to make that first imperfect mark. Like I mentioned earlier, I am going to be hosting those one-on-one sessions, so if you're interested in that, make sure you sign up to the waitlist in the description box below or use the QR code on the screen. And if you need more help ditching planner perfectionism, check out the video I made on messy planning right here next to my head. As always, thank you for watching, for being subscribed, for being awesome. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one.